EU leaders have approved Ukraine and Moldova's bids for candidate status, the first official step towards joining the European Union. It's a political boost for Ukraine as it faces big challenges on the battlefield. Leaders from Germany, France, and Italy had all backed Ukraine's application, but all 27 member states needed to give it the go-ahead.
Ukraine is Europe! Ukraine is Europe!
Protesters outside the EU Council building here in Brussels found their views reflected by the 27 European leaders meeting inside. All of them agreed to grant Ukraine EU candidate status, along with Moldova. French President Emmanuel Macron spoke glowingly after the vote.
From day one of this conflict, Europe has been reacting in a quick, historic and united way. Firstly with the sanctions, then economic, military and financial support, and now with this political gesture.
The decision did not come as a surprise. Macron, along with two other powerful EU leaders, Germany's Olaf Scholz and Italy's Mario Draghi, had traveled to Kyiv earlier in June, where they endorsed Ukraine's EU membership bid. Many of the leaders acknowledged that Russia's invasion played a large role in their decision-making.
This put the whole European Union in such a motion that what we see is a result of totally new, I would say, atmosphere within the European Council. I would say this is a new European Council at this moment.
It's clear Ukraine will have to fulfill a long list of criteria before being able to enter the Union. A process that could take years, even decades. But the possibility of a lengthy wait didn't dampen the spirits of Ukraine's president, who thanked the Council via video link.
I believe that the flag of the European Union will fly in every Ukrainian city that we have to liberate from Russian occupation. The Ukrainian and European flags will be together when we rebuild our country together after this war.
EU leaders will also have to discuss whether the Union is even able to welcome new family members anytime soon. Many here in Brussels agree the bloc needs internal reform first, so Europe can compete on the world stage, and believe the war raging on its doorstep makes this even more urgent.
And for more on this, I'm now joined by DW Brussels Bureau Chief Alexandra von Namen. Alexandra, tell me, was this step an easy one for the leaders?
I think it was not an easy decision for EU leaders, and initially some of them were quite skeptical, saying that they cannot let Ukraine jump the queue, that there are other potential candidate countries waiting for years. And of course, we have to stress that we are talking here about a country actively at war, occupied in many areas by the Russian forces, and it was a remarkable risk for the European Union to make this decision because the EU is defining itself as a project of peace. But I think that the whole discussion changed after France, Italy and Germany threw their weight behind this idea, convincing others that it is important to send this signal of solidarity to Kiev and that it is crucial to rebut the Kremlin's claims that Ukraine is their sphere of influence and that Ukraine is not allowed to make their own decisions about their future.
Well, by EU standards, though, this decision was really fast. Does this now mean that Ukraine is on some kind of fast track to membership?
We have been asking this question a lot here in Brussels, and every time we get a clear no, with officials saying that it is important for Ukraine to complete the whole process, to fulfill all criteria, and to strengthen its rule of law and the fight against corruption. And when we look at other candidate states, it is a very lengthy process.
Right. That's DW's Alexander von Namen reporting for us from Brussels. And for more now, I'm joined by Kira Rudik, who's a member of the Ukrainian parliament and leader of the opposition party, The Voice. Ms. Rudik, great to have you with us. Ukraine has now been granted EU candidate status. The official request was made, I think, 4 days after the invasion. But this has been a long and painful journey for your country, going back to maybe 2014, 2004. Can you tell us about that journey?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm actually right now in Brussels. So yesterday I was able to get like the feeling of the preparation and then the feeling of celebration after we received the candidacy. It's truly a historical day for my country and for the nation. We started our journey to European Union back in 2004 when there was a first decision made on Euro direction. And then the revolution and run of the President Yanukovych happened because he made a personal decision that we would rather join Russia and an alliance with them rather than European Union, and that was not a choice of Ukrainian people. Joining EU and NATO is written in our constitution, and this is one of the reasons why Putin attacked. And he was very clear about that. So what happened yesterday is historical in so many levels, in so many ways. And I cannot even begin to tell you what Ukrainian people feel right now. Our soldiers are messaging me, we waved the right flag. This is the uplifting news that on the 100 and almost 20 days of war, we really needed to see that in front of us is not only a fight for our freedom and for our sovereignty, but there is also a chance for our country. You know, yesterday my father called me and he said, I don't quite understand what the candidacy means, but I do understand that we have a future now. And this is the most important, that for Ukraine, it is a future.
And can you tell us, I mean, I can imagine the emotions that, and thank you for sharing them from your family, the new hope that is being given by this announcement. But is it just a psychological boost for your country, do you think, or is there more?
So as a politician, I know that it's first of all motivational boost that we need, but it's also a clear list of items that we need to fulfill to move to the next step. And it's a good push for my country. It's a good push for reforms. It's a good push for the right choices to make for us as parliamentarians. And we have already completed things that were unimaginable like a month ago. A couple of days ago, we have voted we ratified the Istanbul Convention, something that I personally would say that I did not believe that we will be able to do. As a leader of Liberal Party, I, of course, voted yes, and my party voted yes. But there were so many people who were tentative. For 10 years, they were tentative. But now, when we needed it for the candidacy status, people put their political fights aside, and they said, OK, let's do that. Let's do that for our country. And I'm sure that the list of 7 points that Euro Commission gave us in terms of reforms, in terms of anti-corruption, the rule of law, and many other things, is something that we will be able to complete faster and with more unity because we know why we are doing it.
You can understand why you're on a war footing and perhaps more mobilized than you might have been in the past. But look, this isn't happening in a vacuum. President Zelensky has himself warned in the past that Russia might retaliate against this decision. So can this change the situation? Do you think it can change the course of the war? Will there be any consequences of being admitted that would be negative coming from the Kremlin?
There absolutely will be consequences. We have heard a statement by Putin, who said that he doesn't really care and that he doesn't even mind that Ukraine will get the candidacy, which translating from Putin to normal, I can tell you means we cannot do anything about that, but there will be consequences. This is why all Ukrainian people are advised to listen carefully to air raid sirens and take them seriously. And this is why we are waiting and preparing, and all our security systems are on the highest level of alarm because we know that he will fight back. We know that he will do something to prove, first of all, to Russian citizens that Russia still has the control of Ukraine.
Okay, Kira Rudik, leader of Ukraine's opposition party, reacting to Ukraine being granted candidate status to the European Union. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and glory to Ukraine.